Good morning, students. Today we are going to talk about Maternity Benefit Act. I am just going to brief you about what Maternity Benefit Act is. You know what amendment there has been in this particular act. The reason why you need to know about this Maternity Benefit Act is that because somewhere down the line, maybe after 4 years, 5 years, when you are going to work in the corporate, either as a manager or as a employee, you will need to deal with this particular act. So we will start with that Maternity Benefit Act in a very brief way. What is an objective of this particular act? The objective is to protect the dignity of a female at this critical time when she is going to give birth to a child. It extends to the entire India, every shop, every establishment, whether on roll, whether not on the roll, whether outsourced employee, contractual employee, every shop, every establishment, this act is going to be applicable. The basic condition for the working of this particular act, or in order to be eligible for this particular act, is that a female need to work minimum for 80 days in the 365 working days. Now there are some definitions which you are going to come across when you are studying this particular act. One is the appropriate government. Appropriate government may be a central government, where it, in case of mines, plantations, railways, and for all other place it is a state government. So appropriate government makes amendment, makes laws, which can either be the state government, or in case of mines, plantations and railways, it can be the central government. Then delivery means giving birth to a child. Child ka definition means someone who is not born till yet. Then another terminology which is very commonly used in this law is miscarriage. Miscarriage means a child which is of 26 weeks inside the womb of a female. Unless a child is of 26 weeks, the female will not be eligible for the definition of a miscarriage. Now and then we have a definition of salary or the wages. Wages means basic plus DA plus HRA. Each and every component of the salary is going to be included in the wages, except something like bonus or incentive, which has to be re-earned. Now when I talk about the benefits of Maternity Benefit Act, it can be divided into two forms. One is cash benefit and other is a non-cash benefit. Now the cash benefit is that initially the female was entitled for 3 months of leave with pay. Now that tenure has been increased from 3 months to 6.5 months, wherein she will be entitled for the wages with, or the leave with the entire wages. Wages we have already discussed. It includes basic plus DA plus each and every component except for bonus and incentive, which has to be re-earned. Then now there may, after 6.5 months, if she feels there is some sort of illness, there is some sort of complications arising out of pregnancy, she can extend that leave for 1 month more. After that also she can request for working from home, and if the job is such wherein work from home can be feasible, then employer needs to provide that. In case of miscarriage definition we have studied earlier. The child has to be of 26 weeks inside the womb of a female. She will be eligible for 1.5 months of leave with pay. In case of tubectomy, 2 weeks leaves are given with pay. Now these were the cash benefits which we discussed. Now there are certain non-cash benefits which a female is entitled to it. Female may be married, she may not be married, and she even if she is unmarried and having a child, still she can claim for the benefit of this particular act. Non-cash benefit is that till the child is 15 months old, after the delivery, she will be allowed for 2 nursing breaks of 15 minutes each. In an organization where there are more than 50 female employees working, organization needs to provide mandatory for the creche facility. Now in case the organization is not having a creche facility on its own, the organization can have a tie-up with a voluntary organization wherein the female can keep the child and she can go for the feeding break or the nursing break. Now before 10 weeks of the due date, now due date confirmation has to be from the gynecologist, who needs to be authorized for saying that this is the due date when the child is expected. Before 10 weeks of the due date, the female can request an employer to give a light workload to it, and employer has to abide by it. The employer cannot give such workload which can be hazardous for that female employee who is working. No discharge, no dismissal of the duty can happen for the female unless there is some sort of misconduct. Even in case of misconduct, wherever there is a discharge or dismissal, the female can file a case against the employer within 60 days of the such claim which has been made against her that she was being found of misconduct, due to which she would not be eligible for the Maternity Benefit Act. Now these are certain non-cash benefits. Cash benefits which we had done. The duty of an employer is to give all the facilities, make it congenial working environment, protect her designation, protect her dignity when she is giving birth to a child. Besides that, in the last part we are going to discuss about the penalty. Now, in case of a penalty, the employer is not maintaining enough record related to the Maternity Benefit Act. It is not providing for the salaries, leave with pay during her period of absence. Then in that case, the period of penalty can be 3 months imprisonment which can extend to 2 years, and a penalty from 500 rupees to 3000 rupees which can extend. A medical bonus of rupees 250 is also granted to a female employee in case organization is not able to have a tie-up with any of the maternity specialized hospitals. Now the organizations which are covered under ESI, that means those employees whose salary is less than 15,000 rupees a month, they will not be eligible for Maternity Benefit Act. They will also be they would be available, they can claim for maternity benefit, but it will be a separate clause under ESIC Act. So that is what we have discussed about it. And one important point which you need to take care is that, now suppose due to some reasons the female dies during giving birth of a child. So in that case, the organization, the employer need to have a nomination form for the female employee whom the amount has to be, who can claim the amount in case of a death of the female employees. So the claim amount is going to be the period of absence of the female from a duty, and that period cannot be more than 6 weeks before the due date, till the time the death has occurred. That nomination can be filed by the husband or by the husband of the female employee, if provided she has given the claim as she has nominated him, or it can be the parents or anyone whom the female has nominated. The compensation or the maternity benefit amount has to be paid to them. So that was all we had studied about the Maternity Benefit Act. I hope you guys would have a brief about it, and thank you so much.